of the American public don't trust her.
Exactly.
And that's
even worse in the Quinnipiac.
I can't understand how her numbers are going to possibly get any better after
Well, they're
this.
likely to get worse, Julie, because the full brunt of what we've been reporting on Fox News and what we've been discussing tonight has not been fully felt. Ed, I think you have a reaction to this rollout. It's not been successful. You've been at this game for 50 years. What's your take on it?
It's the worst rollout I've ever seen in my life. It's for someone who's preparing for 8 years, or at least 4 years to get ready. There's not a single thing she said. There's no talk about her vision. I thought that Rubio, who started a day after her, who's moved to the forefront, made the best attack on her. Hillary's about the old. I'm about the new.
Yeah, she's down about 54% from 1 year ago as far as trustworthiness. And here's one more reason that some might have trust issues with her in the conflict with Uranium One, as you were just talking about, Doug. The new book, Clinton Cash, also highlights under Mrs. Clinton's leadership that the State Department green-lighted a foreign transaction that enriched major donors to the Clinton Foundation while placing an estimated 20% of America's stockpile of uranium, which can be used, of course, to make nuclear weapons, under the control of a Kremlin-backed Russian firm.
Right.
These are huge allegations.
They are huge allegations. The other thing is what the Clinton Foundation apparently acknowledged today, in which the reporting in the documentary that Brett Baer hosted, brilliant Clinton's Tangled Web, I think made very clear, is that there were some $2 million or more in unreported donations from those affiliated with the company Uranium One. This requires further scrutiny. I think any rational and reasonable person looking at it would say that, Julie. It also, to just finish the point that Ed was, I think, quite usefully making, Marco Rubio is now in the Quinnipiac poll within 2 points of Hillary Clinton at 45 to 43, and he's been a presidential candidate for less than a week. So this suggests the magnitude of the problems the Clintons face and the desire the electorate has for fresh faces.
Foreign policy is going to help Marco Rubio huge, and this is going to be an issue, obviously. Go ahead, Pat.
I want to come to the point about what Doug was talking about this uranium issue. This is a national security issue. 20% and projected to be 50% of our uranium is in the control of Vladimir Putin and the Russians. This deal was put together. The former president of the United States got $100 million for this. People don't give you $100 million because they like you or because you're going to cure AIDS. They do it because there are important things at work. But the entire government approved that this is Obama's problem as well. And this is something that Congress has a right to investigate. The other questions, though, have to do with the legal system. There is, I was reading a column by a gentleman who was the Assistant Majority Counsel in the Watergate Committee. He was a Democrat. He was a Democrat then. He said, you know, the reason Nixon couldn't burn the tapes because it was obstruction of justice. There's a law that has to do with anticipatory obstruction of justice. It has to do with getting rid of documents, like 30,000 emails, and it could be about these things. There's real problems that they have. But what I'm concerned about is 40 years ago, we were going to clean up American politics. We would have attorney generals who were independent. We were going to take money out of politics. And what has happened is we have now corruption of the worst kind across the board. And to the American people, it's important.
Could it be said, Ed, that because Hillary Clinton is Hillary Clinton, she's married to a former president, she was a former Secretary of State, that the transparency is more obvious and lacking in her case because she's such a public figure? She's not a presidential candidate that's coming in sort of as a no-name like President Obama was when he ran for the White House.
Listen, she has eminent qualifications to run for president. At the end of the day here, there's a lot of baggage of their past behavior. These people have, as I said earlier, they have never quite lived up to the rules and the regulations. So people expect to this point, and the dishonesty question is very serious. It's just a reinforcement of what they've done in the past. So my sense is she needs to be more transparent than ever. Obviously, I'm a Republican, don't want her to succeed. But at the end of the day, she's not going to succeed, and she's going to fail miserably, and the Democratic Party is going to be without a serious candidate.
Something has to be answered here, I think, Doug. But I want to ask you a question about this. What the hell were they thinking? What is going on here?
Which time? You have to be more specific.
Overall. Pat's question, Julie, is how could they be so cavalier, take all this money from so many suspect donors? And I think part of the answer is sloppiness, but part of it
narcissism?
Part of it was a sense that they could take money and take a lot of money, and as long as they insulated government decision-making, which I think on balance they did, from the receipt of contributions, they would be okay. And you know what, Pat? To be blunt about it, I say this, Ed, as still a supporter of Hillary Clinton. She still could well be right, and that she could well win this election, because the Republicans are divided, the Republican Party ratings are low, and the Clintons' calculation that taking the money could work could well bear fruit in November of 2016.
My point, which is a sad state we have reached. You know, I don't understand why the committee has not subpoenaed and gone, not waiting on Holder, who leaves this week.
Which committee are you talking about?
The Gowdy committee on Benghazi, but they're the ones that want the server. Go to court. There are precedents for this. Go to court and have the court give you the subpoena. Don't depend on a corrupt Justice Department run formerly by Eric Holder, who's covered up every scandal, or a president who has done the same. And by the way, and you know what? We had a special prosecutor, special counsel for Valerie Plame. The country, as I said, is Nick. They need to know before they vote on Hillary Clinton what the hell's going on here, not afterwards. And we need a real legal investigation.
The issue is money. Money, money, money. And they've always got away with money. There's always been question about the contributions. The only thing she said in the 2 weeks she's been in office, she's going to spend $2.5 billion. Twice as much money as ever before. So we have a right. We have a right to know where that money's coming from.
And then she's going to reform the political system.
All right, stand by, guys. International issues, of course, dominating recent headlines as well, including the ongoing battle against ISIS and nuclear talks with Iran. President Obama taking the brunt of criticism for foreign policy many say is just too weak. But who among the 2016 hopefuls can do better? The Fox News political insiders are coming right back.